All right, let's go to Florida now, and we'll talk with Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, how are you?
Hey.
Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, go for it.
Um, well, I there's a couple things. So I've been through some things in the past 8 years, and my husband died, and I ended up moving back to Florida where I grew up. We grew up together, kind of here, and well, 18 months ago, my son passed. My son died, and
Mm.
it's kind of it spurred me to want to move back to North Carolina where I was because my whole we all moved up there together. So all of my friends and my family are there. Everybody who's walked through life with me is there.
Yeah.
And I've you know I'm trying to get to that point. I've got my house up for sale. I started packing, but now my house isn't selling. And I just keep thinking about Mark when the father's bringing his son with a demon, and he says, if you can help me, if you can heal him. And then Jesus just says, if I can, well, and then the father says, just, I believe. He said, do you believe? And he said, yes, and help me with but help me with my unbelief. And I feel like I'm kind of stuck in that right now where I want to I just want God to say, hey, Kimberly, on April 15th, someone's going to make you an offer you can't refuse, and everything's going to work out perfectly. And I know he doesn't do that, but and most days I'm fine, and I rest in that, knowing that he's gone before me and he's already done it. But then I go, then the next day I'll go right back, or the next hour I'll go right back to help my unbelief, and I just don't know how to get out of this struggle because I really want, I see it again. The second thing was God's will. Like I'm always thinking, what's God's will for me? And I've come to believe it's really not a place that you're going to be physically. It's more of a heart. If my heart's in the right place, and I'm dealing with any kind of sin and
Okay.
and following His word.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to jump in for the sake of time. Now, first, it doesn't sound like to me that you're dealing with any kind of sin. I think we need to take all that. There's a lot of devotionals and Christian books, and a lot of airtime is spent talking about sin. We talk so much about dealing with sin and is there hidden sin and all of this stuff that we start thinking, well, man, maybe that's my problem. There's this sin that I'm not aware of. Look, if God wanted you to be aware of something, He would write it on poster board and flash it right in front of your face. I mean, He's God. He can make it obvious. So this is not your fault. This is not your fault. And it is not about any sins that you've committed. This is about you wanting to be with people who love you and people that you love very deeply, and they live in North Carolina. You've been through a lot. You've lost your husband, you lost your son, you want to be in North Carolina. You really don't want to be in Florida much longer. You want to be near people that you deeply care about. So you've listed your house, and it hasn't had any bites or hasn't sold yet. What that would tell me, godly wisdom tells me, how can I get more attention for this home? Can I pay for a little bit more promotion of the sale? Can I lower the price slightly? If I could get to North Carolina by lowering the price by 10 or 15,000, or get it down to where it grabs attention, would that be worth it to me? Would that be better than waiting 6 extra months or 12 extra months while my price is too high and maybe I don't even know it's too high? Are there other ways to promote the house? Are there ways to find priority on home listings, online? Can you pay a little extra for extra marketing? I'm going to talk to my realtor. So, see, all of the introspection about, have you sinned lately? Is there sin in your life? Are you not trusting enough? Is there something wrong with your heart? All this introspection and internalizing, it keeps you from thinking about things on the outside, like practical things, things that even unbelievers are thinking of, because they're not consumed with, is God mad at me, or is God punishing me, or is God treating me in a negative way or something. So what the new covenant does, what God's grace does for us, is we start realizing, no, this has been answered. This question at the core of my being, am I okay? Am I at peace with God? Is God for me? Is God my friend? Is he hiding anything from me? Does he have a hidden frustration with me? Is there something I've done to tick him off? We can answer all those questions. You are the righteousness of God. You have perfect peace with the Lord because of Jesus. So you can take all those questions that consume you and just answer them quite simply and strongly with the gospel, because God is for you and he'll never be against you, and you are a friend of God, and there's no condemnation, and he remembers your sins no more, and he's removed them as far as the east is from the west. He keeps no record of your wrongs. And so maybe godly wisdom here is just check the situation. Has it been weeks and months that have passed and you're not getting attention on your home sale? Well, that would tell me change a variable, change something about it. Ask God for wisdom in that. Lord, if I lower the price $20,000, am I going to be regretting that the rest of my life as I'm sitting in North Carolina with my friends? Probably not. You're right, Lord. So I would think more outwardly rather than inwardly. And yes, you're going to trust the Lord with the results. I know you are, because I know you've got a new heart, and your new heart does trust him. But let's also trust him to be wisdom and insight in this moment. So I'll put you back on for just a moment here, Kimberly. Does that help some as you think about things?
Yeah, I love that, because I do tend to, as you think too much into it, and just knowing that he's got it taken care of. And you're right. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to my realtor today and thinking about switching to someone else. Thanks.
Beautiful. Well, good. I'm glad you were thinking about that. I was thinking about that too.